Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad!
Welcome, people of the internet, to my little home. Hello, Jerry.
Hello.
Totally forgot to light the ambient lighting.
Oh no.
No, we have
gone to our calls for aid. Is that what you're saying?
Help. Yes, welcome, Warhammer Grimace, Hazy Boar, Crazy Redcoat, Dan Lee, Doug the Fuck, and whoever is lurking back there. And Dan Lee, to get the question off your chest. Nope, it hasn't. Work cold twice. So.
That's why you should always start early with your drinking.
Yeah, so you have a. You can say, you know, I can't come. I'm already wasted.
Also, it means you can just swear at them down the phone. Going, what? You called me while I was drinking? It was 9 o'clock in the morning. Was it? Well, you know, then you definitely deserve whatever you got down the phone. Fuck you. Fucking fuck. And the horse you rode in on.
Or to put it simply, you're all cunts.
All terrible cats.
Hello, Demons Up. So, we've got some things lined up today. Jerry has graced us with a long list.
It's not that long. Could be longer.
A bit longer than usual. And the first one is Cyberpunk in Oils. I'm guessing that's one of the projects you're interested in because of your newfound love with oils.
Yeah, let's go with that. Also, I quite like the subject matter because I'm not entirely certain what he's using it for. The fact that he's got a load of cyberpunky type miniatures from things like Hint, Nakatomi Tower, wherever the fuck it was called, the sci-fi version of John McClane. I don't know. I've never seen it. Anyway, but yeah, it's partly that. It's partly I like to see other people experiment with it, and it's interesting to see what way he's going about it. Slightly messier way than me, but not by much. Gloves may be an issue.
You think gloves should be useful at that?
Well, you know, but at the same time, I wear gloves when I'm airbrushing, and it's a pain in the arse because it's fine at the start, and then when you get to like 5 or 6 in, and it's starting to annoy you, and then like 10 in, and your fingers are sticking to the miniature base, and when you go to set it down, it sticks to your fingertip and then falls in the so gloves are theoretically to keep your hands clean, but you know, they're just fucking a pain in the hole after a while. So you know, oils are much easier to clean off anyway. Just like I just pour white spirits into my hand and then scrub it all over. But it's a really nice set of, I'm going to say coppers. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but with that blue, they scream copper to me. Yeah. I quite like the little hovery thing as well.
I was just going to say the flyer looks interesting.
A
bit like a shrunken down version of a Klingon attack ship.
Like a Ballymena bandstand.
Or that.
Yep, no, that would make sense.
It has a pretty face. It smiles.
It does have a pretty, yeah. It really does.
It smiles while it goes at you.
Yeah. Isn't that what everything does on the internet now? Attack ship goes brrrt. But it's really nice, simple color scheme. I assume they are the Rozzers, because I think you mentioned police somewhere. Yeah, Raid 44 police, and the vehicle comes from Hint as well. But yeah, it's just a really nice, simple set of colors. But just the depth you get with oils. I don't know how he's finding it. I find it much easier to do blending and stuff. And even just simple oil on over the top of a couple of like a zenith color and then rub the fucker off and walk away done. You know, it's just a piece of piss.
It's definitely...
And the fact that you have to set them to one side to cure for 2 days, I don't care. Because sometimes I start painting miniatures and then they sit on the table beside me for like a month before I do the next layer. And that's not while I'm waiting on something to cure. That's acrylics and I'm just too lazy to pick the fucking things up again. So, you know. Hola, James. So it'd be fascinating to see what he does next. I don't know what else was in Hint. I do know it had a quite good range, but I also know that they're very comparable with a lot of other ranges out there. So we might see more in the way of spunky things.
Human Interface, the Cyberpunk game.
Yeah, but you're missing. There's a thing that says like Nakatomi Tower, so it is Hint is the name. But yeah, so it's interesting.
I like the way the blue isn't so opaque across the whole miniature. It looks like a sun-worn paint job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pre-mix the colors like he has, because I'm still learning how to use them, and I'm not sure what consistency I want from one moment to the next. So, but it's certainly if you're going to be using an awful lot of it all the time.
I
Hell,
think
go for it.
that was his purpose, because he says he's mixing up main colors for the next wave of models, so I'm guessing he wants to make sure to get a consistent color shade.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, but then again, can't you freehand that, Dark Denigan?
Weirdly, not as easily.
No?
Because the things come out of a tube, the more paint, the darker the tone. So much so that if you were to put that stuff on straight, it would almost be a black. It's so saturated in color. So if he wants everybody to be that sort of pastel-y, navy blue or Prussian blue, then he needs to get the consistency of the mix relatively similar across them all. Otherwise, you will just start to see some really super, really pastel colors.
Super blue,
If he dilutes it too much, and then black. I mean, these fuckers beside me are a range of that at the moment. But that was mostly because the blacks I was putting over the top to correct things. And I've decided I don't like how any of those look, so I'm going to strip them. But interesting nonetheless.
Yes. And I think it's a more or less semi-closed at the moment, because he has painted this section and is now waiting for another wave. So we'll be happy to see if his premix will hold up, or if he shot himself in the foot there.
I imagine it'll be grand. It can't be any worse than the GW paint, and they, they take at least 3-4 weeks to dry out. So the oil should be spot on for a couple of months to go.
Well, the next one then is a Spring Clean Challenge Yellow Fat Bloke.
It is indeed a fat yellow bloke.
Halfling Hullabaloo by LSR.
Quite a lot of Spring Clean challenges have popped in. So I did my level best to ignore most of them. There's a few. Well, most of them are people going, I'm doing a Spring Clean challenge. And then that's it.
Reactivating projects from 3 years ago from the last Spring Clean challenge.
Oh, I don't mind that, because it would have entries in it at least. There's an awful lot of Spring Clean challenge on the first couple of pages of the project system that are just, here's my title and here's a big empty project.
You're not getting anything for that, blokes. You need to put a little bit more effort into that.
Yep. But he's doing stuff with those fat children.
The hungry fat children.
Hungry fat children. So, I'm not entirely certain what he's going to go for here. Because he has started out with 3 boxes of Wargames Atlantic Halflings, and you get 40 in a box. Sorry, just reading that off the thing behind me.
That's 120 halflings.
Yep. But then also a dwarf wizard on a purdy, 3 pigs and a giant. So I imagine there's a game in mind for this. But you can never tell. However, it's not completely devoid of colour, as we can now see when we get to the piglies.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
That's a striking pink.
Oh, the pigs.
That hurts the eye.
It doesn't hurt the eye.
Oh, bloody.
Halflings are by nature, a very
Colorful creatures.
Colorful race. Yeah, they're and pigs. As we all know, pigs are pink. I learned that at primary school, and I see no reason to vary my idea on that. Anytime I turn on a cartoon, pigs are always pink. So it's really nice seeing pink pigs.
That's an interesting mixing palette.
It's very good. I've got one here very similar that I've been testing spray paints on.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody using tablet trays for painting.
You know.
Well, that being said, I'm using bottle caps for small batch mixes, which also works fine.
Can't argue with that. However, it's not just the three little pigs what went to market. I think it's when we start to hit the carts that they really, really fucking shine.
Yeah,
they're better pictures further down of the carts.
Those are very colorful.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, indeedy.
And we're waiting for the project system again.
It goes into a bit about how the paint job went, going from the vicious fucking wash on them. It's like, I will wash the detail off you, you bastards. And then putting all the colour back in. But decided to use, there's a specific formula they use for colouring in maps where no adjacent colours are the same. It's like the 4-colour map theorem or something. Every map in the world can be coloured in just 4 colours and never have adjacent colours the same. He's used that for the bright sparkly things in the back of his thing. So you can have different looking cards, but all with the same colours, which is just a bit madness.
Yeah. It seems a bit excessive.
Oh, love the bits.
But they really do shine. Though it looks a bit like a chocolate cupcake with Smarties in it.
It's filled with Skittles. Taste the motherfucking rainbow.
Skittles the size of your brain.
If this was the XLBS, we could ask Lloyd to cut in that Skittles advert where the bloke Skittles all over her back.
Oh no. Actually,
pumpkins aren't.
Actually, pumpkins are orange. Freedom pumpkin trademark.
Yep.
And this is a Javeriahjaved pumpkin. Oh,
Sure.
Australian pumpkin.
Which means A, it's upside down, and B, I assume it will attempt to kill you?
It's probably,
so probably poisonous. Yeah. Worse.
Venomous.
What if the fucker's venomous? Yeah.
It's a mimic. It will follow you around and bite you on your knee.
Yeah, so very. It's just an interesting little thing. I don't know what game he's going to use it for. I would suggest Kings of War, but then I always suggest Kings of War. But then I suppose Warlords of Erewhon could be a goer as well. Fascinated to see what the cards get used for. They look like they should definitely be used for something, but there are a lot of games that use like baggage trains and stuff
Unit
for scenarios.
Fillers, he says.
So,
unit fillers option as using them as chariots.
I see. So time will tell. Time will tell.
I'm guessing if he's taking this paint scheme completely through the whole army, this is going to be a very, very bright, happy bunch.
Well, you can see there are a couple of pictures of the contrasted halflings that he's been working on.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm imagining full table worth of 120 plus models in that.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Just go all coloured. Hola Pete. Hola Martin.
Welcome.
Could be the halfling list growth, Mark. That's a good point. Although, while you can run a full halfling list growth, Mark, you will get your toys handed to you because they're shit. But then Oathmark's strength is that you can mix and match to your heart's content, so you can have halflings, orcs, goblins, undead, elves, and dwarves and humans all in the same army. So, you know.
Halflings next to undead. That's a sight I don't think I've ever seen.
Well, you know, a few of us have. I'm trying to remember which book it's in. Oathbreakers. It's in that one. Is this how? Yeah. I'm going to assume it is. Don't actually know if you can put undead with everybody or if it's a separate thing, because I haven't got around to reading this book yet. I've been busy. We should be talking about people's things rather than make me look at stuff.
Maybe
there are chariots in it.
Maybe you could put the halflings next to the undead as some kind of fruit reserves.
Blah, 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 kingdom, add territories, blah, blah, blah. None of the other common races in the marches are completely comfortable with the undead, and while they will generally fight beside them in the same army, there are limits to their tolerance. All right, so yeah, you can go nuts. Gonna invade the Halfling Shire, Master Sauron, are you? You met our undead army, you fuck.
Speaking of insane people, Denzian is returning to the show. What the hell is he doing now?
Well, you can see. The chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1, they say. Proper steampunk / Victoriana. It's Martian empires. So he's got all those red coats. He's got all those Zulus. What does he need now?
Martians.
Fucking tripods. And so he has built his tripods.
Interesting graphical references there.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
I'm assuming it's from the Martian book. But wherever it's from, he's then just,
Drying
ran
in
with
the
it.
sun. Well,
Next shiny.
Next, the badgers will come out of them.
So
Eat
shiny.
your face.
Never mind the badgers. Look at those fucking tripods crawling out of those ones. Run, tiny people, run.
They look a bit like spiders. A wee bit.
Yeah, well,
Especially the one
that's
with
because they're
6 legs.
It's because they're crawling out of shit.
Isn't
He's probably in charge.
interesting. Interesting look.
What,
Walking
the army arrayed in serried ranks there?
Floating
the
brains with penis guns.
brains with penis guns are tight. Wow.
Penis guns from Venus, yeah.
I do like the cavalry that are running over the heads of those ones in the bottom right.
Floating. They're floating. This is an interesting thing.
2 Gatling guns may not be enough. He does say he works on these big elaborate projects and then plays once a year in some massive fuck off game. And I really want to see a battle report for this.
Spider thing crawls out of tube, kills everybody, game done.
You just need to run them around in a circle, coughing on them till they get the Rona.
Yeah, that's pretty much how these things would work out. Hello, Taffy, welcome to the madness. Voice of an angel. That's the voice of an angel who can't sing. What?
I don't know. Clearly somebody was singing over there. It's a shame you weren't here whenever I was singing because it was amazing, Taffy.
Yeah, that looked like Lando, but not the current model. I was guessing that's the Lando from Imperial Assault. I'd say.
Sure. That's definitely a thing. I've heard of Imperial Assault. People have talked about that. It was one of those board games.
Yeah.
Like what children have.
Though it could be the new model. It's the same pose.
There's only one way to find out, and that's for him to answer us, but he doesn't seem to be in the chat at the moment.
Oh,
So.
son of a bitch. Speaking of games by Fantasy Flight, I've got a very amusing email today from Asmodee, Germany.
Right.
You remember that big
Did it
ship?
say that you were going to have to come and pick up all your stuff because nobody outside of fucking Fantasy Flight head office are allowed to own them?
No, but you remember that big ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal?
Yes, the Evergreen.
Apparently,
Evergiven.
Asmodee, Germany had a container on that ship.
Nice.
There are some Call of Cthulhu and X-Wing things that should come out, and they are being delayed slightly.
Tell you worse than that. Bad Dragon, maker of exotic dragon and tentacle-like dildos, had their latest shipment on that container ship as well.
They are
So-
also
So I know that's
shortage
obviously going
on
to affect.
dildos. Oh,
That's going to affect an awful lot of our audience. I know.
yeah,
If you're waiting on your 6-inch black knobbler.
motorized butt plug, alien ejecting spongy thing.
All of that. All of that.
No, James, I'm lucky. Legion hasn't been mentioned in that, so I'm guessing I'm good.
Oh, there's Denzian. He is there.
Hello, Dinson.
Hello.
It's the
You may
you, he
not-
says.
You may not have been here whenever I was demanding a battle report, but I was.
No, and I totally, what do you say?
Well,
I
I agree.
support this claim.
See?
Next then, Spring Clean, Myanmar.
So quick to move on, isn't he?
Yes.
So mean to me. So mean to me.
Tony Silvey, what the hell are these?
Marmarsh is a board game. See, I didn't sick up in my mouth or anything when I said that. And Tony's been painting the tiny little things for us. There's a grip shot of all the miniatures he's going to be painting uncoloured at the bottom. But I quite like these initial ones. They're very Labyrinth, Brian Froud-esque feel to them with the weird shit on them.
They definitely look interesting.
Ah, poor fish. It's been chiseled right through. You see what I mean? They're very, very Froud-like. I mean, not so much that one of them's got a detachable penis, but apart from that,
You never know. Maybe someone throws it at some
I-
point.
I look forward to seeing the wizard with the owl on the staff. Look at the mold lines. That's what you have to put up with board game pieces,
Yeah.
Jumbo. That's God's way of punishing them for playing board games, I think.
The wizard with the owl reminds me of the old witch from the movie The Last Unicorn.
I have no idea what that is, so I'm going to go out and let me say sure.
That's a movie to watch with Lena. She'll like it.
The Last Unicorn. I don't think so. What? I'll watch this.
Christopher
After
Lee has
we've watched
voiced one of the main characters. So
Oh, it's a cartoon.
yes,
Oh, it's even worse.
yes.
How about we split the difference and watch The Last Starfighter?
And America did the soundtrack.
Right, the whole country, like some sort of choral
Yes.
type thing.
Yes,
That's kind of cool.
Though
Must be
the
very
last
difficult.
The Last Starfighter is definitely the better choice.
I think so. I see the reboot lies are doing the rounds again.
What reboot lies?
Every year or two, there's talk that The Last Starfighter is getting a reboot.
No.
And like 3 days ago, somebody did it again. Somebody put another fucking sizzle reel of how they imagine it could look on the telly if they redid it.
Reset the clock.
That's just like, don't even bother. If you go back to the lies from 6 years ago, there are some of the best lies about it. But then it still never happened. And I'm quite content with that, because you can't remake perfection. I told my parents this whenever they had my younger brother. You can't remake perfection. Look at that. It's like the best of them got fucking wiped off the floor, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
I was just. What was this mega weapon called? He strapped into that
Death Blossom!
Death Blossom. Yes.
DB, you have to wait till they're all in range.
Death Blossom. That's the only time they didn't bother to translate anything into German It's Death Blossom. You don't know what it means, but it sounds cool.
Death Blossom's amazing. The footage was from the guys who owned the rights there. The footage was a sizzle reel. They just took bits and pieces from other films and TV shows that exist to show what they think it would look like if they made it. It wasn't actually any work on it. It's the same way they do it with whenever they're doing any film. They just go, "Oh, I think this scene would look like this," and then they just steal bits from. The concept art is literally 6 years old, if not older. I can't imagine they're going to make it anytime soon, and I really hope they don't. In the same way, I'm quite glad the last two companies who've tried to remake The Crow have gone bankrupt, and fuck them and anybody else who worked for them or with them for thinking that remaking The Crow was a good idea. You can't improve perfection. Don't do it.
Yeah, and,
It's God's way of showing
additionally, they wouldn't have need to kill the main actor to make it anything close to the original.
Yeah, well, I think there's still a sister, isn't there?
Could be.
Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, and then there's another Lee. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a sister. If they want to try and polish off the family, for the sake of it, gender bend the Crow, and then just do for that family once and for all.
Well, with that happy thought in mind, we go to Free doing spring clean as she has promised. At least she's trying to.
Yeah, this one's just solely in here because look, it's a board gamer. It's a board gamer who's knuckling down and actually, moving away from those terrible cardboard things. Joining the rest of us.
One of us, one of us, one of us.
Music by Carl Casey and the White Bat Audio. What's that? Do you have music playing?
Who? Me? No.
It's the thing just scrolling at the bottom, saying there's music playing.
Oh,
I'm so confused.
That was from our, what do you call it? Our painting session.
Oh, right.
Which never actually turned out to be audible in the video I later recognized. So I think I need to edit that text file at some point. Let's see, where is it?
Yes, there's only one Crow movie. The one with Angel and Edward Furlong. That one? Is that the one we're talking about?
Where is it? We hang out. Text. Scroll text.
Yeah, I think it's something about board gamers that they have to watch Lord of the Rings pretty much on repeat.
It keeps them grounded.
But I'll be fascinated to see how Free gets on because I don't believe she's done any painting on miniatures.
And until now, obviously, no clipping has occurred.
Yeah, and I mean, of all the things you could start with, starting with weird, I mean, if you can get through that without opening a vein, I don't think anything else in our hobby will hold any fear because there are individual. Can you ambiguate that bottom picture? There are individual twigs to go on the twig monsters on the right hand side there. Fucking tiny, tiny twigs.
They almost look as annoying to build like the Necrons.
Oh, I was going to say Marvel Crisis Protocol, but yeah, Necrons as well. Like that, but more so. I think is the phrase. So yeah, I'm just curious.
Is that a French company behind that?
No, it's just creepy Americans.
That doesn't explain why they misspelled Wood Ghost.
They haven't misspelled Wood Ghost.
Yeah, on the sprue it says Waldegeist, and Waldgeist without the E in the middle is Wood Ghost, or Ghost of Woods.
That's like saying they misspelled Celtic wrong for Keltos. Do you see where I'm going there? They're not German speakers, they're Americans. That's not a German word. That's a faux. The same way it's not Latin in 40k. It's, it's just the name. You just have to go with the name. It's important to remember.
Waldegeist.
They do have
Next thing you know, those things are called Waldo Geists.
They do have one of the best names for any miniature ever, because they have a McCabe. I should buy it at some point, and then just,
You should
challenge free to a game.
make a one-to-one
Knock our
model
pan in.
and put it in your front yard.
I mean, just stand in my front yard in a bowler hat and a whip,
Yeah.
beating the people as they go past. To be fair, there's 3 little shits on a trampoline across the road that I would quite happily beat with a whip.
Don't do that at home. Don't do that at home.
Oh no, definitely. If you don't beat their children, most parents won't these days either. So, where will they learn? Just saying. It's important they know.
Oh, I think I need to scroll up a bit in the chat. Has there any been... What are you people up there? Oh, Epic Legion. That's how far it goes, yeah. I still want my 10mm Star Wars Epic Battles. If that ever comes out, I'm going to buy it. So, leaving free to her demise, some geezer, that's an awful big marine, so I'm guessing he's doing one of those toy marines?
No.
No?
It's one of the 54mm Inquisitor Marines.
Oh, almost big marine.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got one here. Yeah. Actually, hang on. Till light, I might. Oh, no, but I found some confrontation dwarves. Oh, why are you in there?
And Jerry is digging
No.
a hole.
What?
Next time he comes up, he has the Balrog with him.
I'm so confused. So very confused. Yeah, I used to have a YouTube channel many months ago, and as a subscriber competition thing, some geezer many fucking moons ago won, and he got to pick what I was going to paint next, and he picked my Greeks, which I finally got around to painting last year. No, year before, 2019. So it was like 5 or 6 years after he won that. But he also got to pick from a massive stock of stuff where I'm just going, pick whatever you like, fuckers. Here's some limited edition shit. Here's shit you can't buy anymore. And one of them was the 54mm Artemis from Inquisitor, which he said he'd started and never really finished or didn't really bother with. And I was like, fuck it, do it now for Spring Cleaning Challenge. So that's how it currently looks. I'll be fascinated to see it when it's stripped down and started again. I have one somewhere. However, my one also may not be complete because I was starting to. The reason I had 2 was I was converting one into a Space Wolf, so it's possible mine has mutton chop sideburns and a ponytail. Although mostly just green stuff at the moment with nothing else on it because they're not finished. So I said if he did that, I would dig mine out and do mine for the Spring Clean Challenge.
So
this I feel is raising the stakes by him actually starting it. I wasn't genuinely expecting Simon to bother his backside doing that.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is what quarantine does to you. People actually start taking you by your word.
Yeah, if you ignore that for a while, we'll be fine. All fine here.
Spring Clean Challenge will be over again at some point later this year.
20th of June, which I believe is a Saturday, so we'll be fine.
Only 3 more months.
Oh no, Sunday. It's a Sunday, so we'll finish it on a weekender. Happy days.
Next project, again, Mars by MacGoffmock.
Yeah. This time breaking out more cheap
Board game pieces and
showing exactly what you can do when you paint them.
If you can paint, you can make them look very nice. This is a very nicely done non-metallic metal.
He's a talented bastard, isn't he?
Yeah.
He came dangerously close to getting 2 in this week.
Golden buttons?
No, just a second run at some of his stuff because he'd also done some nice stuff in his 54mm. But I'll wait a couple of weeks till he's done some more.
We need to hold some good things in reserve for dry times.
But this is the one. Remember, I think it was last week actually, just before he appeared in chat, that that I was saying I'd seen one that was sitting private, and then I went ooh, and then opened it, and it was nothing but empty posts with just the name and no pictures. This was it. Oh. So I'm glad to see it's been opened up, and it's really nice because it gives me a nice basis to base my own stuff on when I pay.
You really shouldn't be drinking that much on stream.
Oh, good times had by all.
Yeah, he's a horribly talented bastard.
I quite like his background as well. For painting them. Or for photographing them. It feels like he's just got a sheet of watercolour paper and then threw some acrylics on. Or gouache.
Or it's a wallpaper he found somewhere.
Yeah, it could be that as well, I suppose. I keep looking there. I've got a really nice. There's I've got a link somewhere for it. Somebody's done like 3 or 4 really nice backgrounds that you can print out yourself for photographing backdrop type things, like a cold grey, a warm grey, and a neutral grey. And I go, oh, they're gorgeous. And we have like a huge laser printer at work. I'm thinking that would be flawless. I could get like an A3 one done, and then. And that would be sweet. So I contacted Justin. Like, could you do me that? And he went, oh yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, it was like, Justin, have you done that? He went, no, I'll do it now. Where will I get the thing? You know, in the email I sent to you whenever we talked about it. So about an hour later, he came back and went, nah, the big printer's fucked. I could print you out like 6 of them on the A4 printer. It's like, I've got a Shea A4 printer here myself. You know, what's the point? I wanted the high quality laser print. But I digress.
We wanted a good-looking version of that thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, I may as well just fucking airbrush a backdrop myself. I've come dangerously close to on a few occasions. But it really shows how nice those models can be if you just take time to actually paint them.
And clean up the mold lines.
I don't think they were that bad for mold lines, although it would require me to roll over there and get a box out from behind that, and I can't be arsed to say for certain. But because they were the sort of rubbery plastic, you do have to straighten stuff up a bit. But things like this in a Doug the Fug style, where he's added like popcorn and newspaper and shit in the streets, so they're not just walking around on perfectly pristine bases, even though he's mostly gone for black. Even the general tour there has got double yellow line running through him as well.
So they're all walking along the road, which is a theme.
Yeah,
it's it. And what currently drives me mad, I was just finishing the Kids on Wheels by Morg Miniatures, and I can't paint skin to save my life. I just fucked it up and had to start again on the skin.
Oh no!
I just can't. It's impossible. No matter what wash I use, no matter how thin I do it, no matter how many highlights I add later, they all look like they dropped into some weird bucket of mud. It's just not for me, painting skin.
Shh, he's here now.
Who?
Hello, back.
We have summoned him. You talented, what do we call him?
Barsteward. Nutter! We're all looking forward to seeing the flaming cows.
Yes.
It's got the flaming cows.
The flaming stampede.
Yep. I'm really annoyed I only have one set of those.
Could you go with ordinary cows from the toy shop and just mold some on?
You could, but it was the way they were presented. It was a large, it was like I don't think it was a 50mm round. It might have been 40, but anyway. But it was like 3 stuck tight together, and then just flames billowing off their backs. So,
With a
shame.
genuine scent of a hamburger.
That's the one. That's the one. A lot of people have been dusting off their Mars attacks recently, and not just in the Otter community. A few people have been getting ready for Stargrave, and the amount of people who've gone, hang on a minute, I've got these guys. So the idea for Stargrave games where the pirates, because you can get pirates can come in groups, and you've got pirates and elite pirates. And up until now, I've been going, I could use the Shivers, I could use this, and now I'm just thinking, I could fucking have Martians. Literally, people are going about their business, and all of a sudden, you just hear like 5 Martians rush on the side of the thing, or some Martians with their beetles instead of dogs, or the elite commando ones. Just amazing.
Buy 144 artists. Don't take it too hard. We will scream and shout at the camera for you extra loudly now. I was just thinking Stargrave, maybe the alien from the Fallout miniatures game would also fit.
I don't know what that is.
It looks like
is
a
it grey?
Yeah, with a very 50s like ray gun in its hand. I think there's only one design, so he would be a standout character.
Yeah.
Next then, Greystoke, the thin beige line. Again, you are taunting me with other
I
people's
might
legion.
not be. You don't know. You're not the boss of me, right, Darcy from Kildare?
Oh, look, people wrapped in cellophane.
Yes. He has been hoeing off. A lot of people won't have seen this because they're not in the best house on Discord. They're on the lesser houses. But decided to give the old object source lighting a go.
Via the medium of airbrush, it seems?
I don't know how much of it was airbrush, because there's certainly brushwork, regular brushwork has gone back in afterwards, although that may have been after he was finished with that, because we were looking at them going, you need more contrast in the folds. So we went in and darkened some of those.
Object source lighting using the airbrush to create glow effect. That's what he says on tin.
Well, might be what he says there. But I know he went back in with a brush, because we went, it's very red. Maybe you should go back in with a brush and deepen the recesses.
It obviously looks very, very good.
It's interesting. It is interesting. I'm still using acrylic rods for my lightsabers, but I did see somebody had done an interesting thing where they'd airbrushed a opaque ink on the end, so on the tip, so it's translucent nearest the hilt, but then gradually becomes more opaque as if it's getting less hot, I suppose, or as if the hottest point is closest to the hilt. So I might try that on some of mine for novelty value. But that aside, it's phenomenal, the work he's done.
Yeah, he again, one of those people I can't stand to watch because they are so much better than I am. In regards of painting, I still have the high grounds in that I have 53 episodes of the unofficial Hangout, and he doesn't.
And Hazy Boy's got more golden buttons, so there you go.
And also, I'm a lord, so...
If it makes you feel any worse, I think he only got the airbrush like a year and a half ago, like 18 months ago, because I remember him asking at the Star Wars Legion hobby weekend for John to show him how to use an airbrush. So he's gone from that to, I'm doing panel lining and object source lighting with my airbrush. Whereas I'm still going, I'm trying to get my airbrush clean so it will spray. 6 years down the line.
I'm on the similar level of like you.
Have you considered, Hazy Boy, getting all your golden buttons printed out and wearing them like medals, like a Korean general, just down one side of your chest, just anytime you're talking to him?
Don't print them out. Make real patches of them, and stitch it to the man.
It would be amazing. Simply amazing.
Evening, Joros. Welcome to the lunatic asylum.
Yeah, but Ireland's not playing for anything tonight, Pete. That's why they're winning. Don't worry, I'll go back later on and they'll either have lost or drawn, and I can read the appalling shit that the BBC commentator has written throughout the entire thing. He really doesn't like the Republic of Ireland for some reason. He's been cheeky as fuck in the commentary for the last 2 games. It's supposed to be all it doesn't care enough. Outrageous. That's one of the reasons why you're ahead of him on golden buttons. Because you turn up, get drunk and dry brush stuff with Bryn beige. You do you.
Next up then, more Star Wars, more shiny bits.
More Star Wars. This is just for me. These are just
Chaos Gorga is showing off again.
Little Star Wars porn moments for myself.
Shut up, you cunt!
Have I noticed that? Yeah, it's assuming you respond to me, Pete. Yeah, I ended up. I would normally read if I can't see the match. I would read it on the Beeb on their live text. But it's such a gobshite. And there's a couple of Irish people who commentate for the BBC and going, "You're not getting one of them." I know he's supposed to be impartial, but he's taking it the other way, more or less, just going, "You're all cunts."
Well, is he wrong in saying they're all cunts?
Yeah, they're all cunts. They're not good at football, but they're not cunts. Yeah, interesting for the Mandos. I love the poppy colour on the blue for crease. I know we're past them already, clan red, because it's much more blue. But it then ties in with the likes of that on the shoulder pads of the clone troopers.
Yeah, that's and the orange on the helmet is very poppy.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna, I think Mork summed it up best when he said, "If you're going to fight Clash, don't wear camo. I want to see you."
How many did he do again? How is he even able to churn out that many things in 1 week?
Maybe he's competent and focused. Because I know I've certainly had the time to paint that much stuff. And in that time, I've researched a lot of things. Start painting the big fucking stumbly bastards.
The one with the smoky effect?
No.
Huh.
No, the ones to finish off Conquest.
Oh, that. How many more are there to come?
Well, once I've got these 7 done, I'm done.
Oh. To be brutally honest, I don't really care for the Conquest stuff. I somehow, the videos talking to the developers stopped being interesting after the first few.
I suppose it depends if it's what you like. If you don't like Conquest, then, there are videos about Conquest. It'd be the same as somebody sitting down to watch stuff on Star Wars Legion and not liking Star Wars.
Not liking Star Wars? Impossible!
Yeah,
I get your point.
Yeah. No, they would have to not like Star Wars because let's face it, there are a lot of great games out there you can use Legion bottles for. But if you just don't like Star Wars at all, it doesn't matter what the system is. So.
These eyes, they have seen shit.
Well, they've seen George Lucas cough.
Oh god. Did I just hear the 3 kids from across the street?
See why I want him with a whip now. I really like the Mandos with the little, presumably jetpack smoke, and they're not just impaled on stalagmites.
Yeah, It's though I don't think they ever smoked that much in the movies. Or
No, but it's different from just having them on the little plastic things. I
yeah,
still think they missed a trick with those models because when they initially announced that they were coming, they said that you would have the option of having them on ground or in the air on their little flying stand, and then between that and the actual thing going into production, they removed the bits that would allow you to put them on the ground. So, yeah, I'm sure you can get them in STIs. I make sure I don't catch those though, so I'm fine. We're all fine here. But the fact that you have to go to a third party would annoy me even more than just cutting a bit of sprue and gluing them onto the sprue and then making it look like a rock or dirt or whatever it is.
yeah.
But those sprues in particular had alternate helmets, alternate backpacks that you don't need. There's more than enough room. It's not like they didn't have the room on the sprue. If they went, here's your 7 miniatures and then here's 11 backpacks, 4 of which are just there for variety. How about this? How about here's your miniatures and here's your 7 backpacks? Fuck your variety, but some of them can be on the ground. You know, take one backpack off, there'd be enough room in that space to have 4 or 5 fucking little lumpy bits for the ground. You know, it's. I don't know, I've never looked at the arcs because it's not real Star Wars. It's that droid
sure
thing.
They took it out.
Well, they weren't in the box I unboxed and built. Which leads me to believe, yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10 different backpacks in my box of 7 miniatures.
There you go. So I was out by 1. That's not a bad guess because I unboxed those fucking months ago.
Yeah, but there is variety, and there are differences in posabilities. You can do them on foot or flying around.
No, you can't. Because all their feet are dangling as if they're suspended in the air.
No?
That's why they required something to glue their foot to when they were on the ground to make it look like they were either landing or running. And that's what they said they were going to do in that initial, here's how this is going to go, when they were all sitting around the corner of a table with masks on at the first COVID lockdown.
Oh, I think I get where I'm misunderstanding you, because there are 4 models on ground and 3 models in the air.
Yes.
In the kit.
And when they initially went, this is going to be our first hard plastic. We're very excited to work on them, and we'll be able to do all these extra things, including if you don't want them all to be flying, then they can also be set on the ground, and then just didn't bother. So.
But at least you have jetpack variety.
Oh yeah, got jetpack variety up the wazoo. Maybe some of them could be landing on jetpacks of dead Mandalorians. That's.
Or dead people not being Mandalorians using jetpacks.
Oh, the worst kind of people.
Like that weird, what was it, Marshall, that looked like he would fall out of the Mandalorian armor any minute.
Space Marshal, McMarshall.
Definitely not Brave Star.
He has a name.
And
apparently he's been a cowboy marshally thing in another TV series that's apparently very good, but I've not seen it yet. Justified? Could it be Justified? Is that right?
Doesn't know Brave Star? Oh, look it up. It's a TV show.
For
kids.
It's
an Indian superhero sheriff in the future with a talking horse that has a gun that's called 3030. And he has weird powers he calls upon, and then he's suddenly fast as a puma, or has sharp eyes like an eagle, and crazy kid stuff like that. More I can't remember. It's been 30 plus years. Marshall Brave Star. Power of the bear, eyes of the eagle, and what not? Ears of the wolf?
Speed of the boomer.
Yeah, I see. See? Marshall and
There you
Deadwood.
go.
he
See,
says. Okay.
using something.
Next up then, The Sinister Sisters of Mercy. This one is one of the few projects I actually follow, and I had a little giggle when his last entry showed up with the small box he found in his pile of opportunity. Which
Well,
led me to make the comment, if your pile of opportunity gets as big to hide something like that, it's maybe a small mountain at that point.
That's fine. You have to hit a certain point before they get termed mountains, like like hills in the Netherlands.
So here we are with his green stuff roll, doing again basings.
Yep.
He
Also,
used super glue to fill in the recesses. Oh, that's interesting.
Certainly a way to go. I'm quite curious as to how the arcoflagellants are going to get painted up. Decided not to go with arcoflagellants for his arcoflagellants, which I think is certainly a way to go. Because he's using, I think it's Sisters of Silence heads, and then one of the Dark Elf.
Which elves box?
Yeah, that's right, Dark Elf. That's Dark Elf.
Sister of
Slightly
Silence
incorrectly
heads,
wrong there.
Various bits from the Tailor's box and some AdMex stuff.
Now, fascinating. If he didn't have, because he has Sister Repentia, although I don't think it's a full 2, 4, 6. Actually, no, it probably is a full squad these days because they keep changing the squad size. If he didn't have Sister Repentia, I would have said they'd be a better fit for that. But I do like the fact that he's decided to keep the female theme, because I think the arcoflagellants are all male, whereas this one, just go nuts. Just push the lunatic whip-wielding women forward while pressing the big button that says inject combat drugs into them and setting them off on one.
So a
Huckleberry
fantasy
Hound is indeed
variation
that.
of the Goblin Fanatics.
Yeah, something like that. Put a big blinkered helmet on so they can't see what's really happening, and then just go and send them to scourge their opponent. I will be curious to see how the massive throne ends up. Nope.
This is an interesting model, to say the least.
It's a fascinating one for two reasons. One, it came out fucking age. It came out metal originally. It predates Failcast, so it's showing its age a bit. And I know a lot of people were really annoyed by the fact they have that floating pulpit that they made, but it's not like they hadn't already tipped their hat a decade ago as to the shit they would do for the Sisters and the Inquisition on the whole weird fucking priestly crap. But also I'd seen somebody had photoshopped the 3 Father Ted models onto that Crooked Dice did recently. And by fuck, I mean, I don't know where he is in the world. I would be prepared to fucking buy them and send them to him just if he would do that. Just have Father Jack in the middle, screaming like mad, sitting in his chair. And then Dougal desperately trying to write some shit. And then Father Ted, the only one who knows what's going on, actually manning the gun. Desperately trying to keep the fucking nutters away from them.
And you can't get any game with that miniature in without somebody asking, are those far away or very small?
Very, very, very small. So yeah, it's nice that it's interesting because he's not just gone, I've got all the original stuff from Fuck Knows Where, but there is a serious amount of prep work and conversion work going in there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I'm hoping the next update is starting to splash some colour on things, because I think that's probably most of it assembled now, bar the chair.
So I like the concept of a dreadnought being nothing more than 3 passenger seats walking around.
Yep, that's how to do it.
Next up then is, what the hell? Infamy, off we go. Sir Humphrey, retired?
I'm assuming it means retired. I've been wrong before, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say people don't generally put abusive things to themselves as their names. Not always, sometimes.
So, he's doing infamy, historical.
Yep, larding about with the two fat ones. Now, I think I started looking, I don't know if we've ever looked at it. I started looking at this last year when he was starting to work on the Celts. So this is like an update for the Romans. But if you continue, you will start to see the first half of it. But he's put together.
To Justin.
Yep. Not a clipper in sight. They're quite handy because the Celts / Germans have rules for coming screaming out of the tree line. So you get little, not just objective markers, but little sort of spawn markers that you can put in different places, which I presumably is what he's using those for, the ambush markers.
Reminds me awfully of The Winter King currently. That book is really getting to me.
Right. Has Sharp got an eagle yet?
What? The Winter King?
Just checking. Sharp will be in there somewhere. Can't keep Davy Sharp down.
You're right. You're having a stroke.
No, I'm fine. Davy Sharp, he's our man. He can't do it. No one can. Go Sharpie. But getting back to his Tiny Fighting Men. It's a really nice project.
I'm guessing these shields are transfers. I'm hoping these are transfers.
Yeah,
If that is freehand, I need to kill someone.
Go ahead and kill someone.
Or I need to know who and where to sacrifice to get that talent. That's an awful lot.
Child. Any. Doesn't have to be your own. There's 3 across the street from me right now. You can sacrifice. Just throw it out there.
Well, see, there are transfers. Children are safe. Little big man, he says.
Yeah, we knew that, but I was hoping against hope that you'd just murder a child for me. Can't get anything these days, can you? Huh?
I'm getting old, Jerry. I'm getting soft.
None of us are getting any younger, except maybe Cliff Richard. Seems to be aging backwards.
And
it's all the virgin blood he bathes in.
And what's the motherfucker called from Rolling Stones?
Keith?
Yes. With every cigarette, he gets younger.
Every cigarette you smoke
gives him 5 more
gives
years.
Keith Richards 5 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's a good way of doing it.
I'm pretty sure that's very much how it's working.
Hmm.
Bloody hell. That's a long project.
Well, like I say, he started last year with the Celts. The Romans are exciting and new. It's interesting. I do want to try Game of Infamy. We tried to play, but it was a pain in the arse because we didn't have the rules. So we having to use one of those fucking computer rule things, and they are balls. But it says it's... yeah, it's strange. It says it's a skirmish game that doesn't use ranks, but then it still has unit footprints that have to be certain sizes. So it's just very peculiar. I'm not entirely certain what the fucking plan is. It'd be easier just going, this uses these size bases, glue them down or sabot them, we don't care. So yeah.
Maybe they can't really get themselves to not use rectangular bases for everything.
It just makes much more sense, to be brutally honest. But then the rules say it's not that. The rules say you don't need those. But then they also say you need these. It's overly complicated from the Lardies.
That's why you need proofreaders to point out
Oh no,
things
no,
like that.
they knew what they were doing when they wrote that in, and I'm just looking at it going, just put them on fucking footprint basis. Just go, your units are this. Go nuts. Because all of your units have to be the same size as your opponent's units, so it's not a skirmish then. If they've got fixed unit base widths, and everybody has to be the same, fucking do it. Fucking get up with it.
This really seems to annoy you. Would you like to talk about it?
No, I'm fine. Doesn't annoy me in the slightest. Just pick one. What's the line from Mallrats? Shit or get off the pot. That's from Clerks, actually. But Kevin Smith, nonetheless.
Next up.
Just either go, you don't need bases, or you need bases. Just fucking pick one. And then write the rules to match that. Don't tell people you don't need bases, and then write the rules that require bases.
Next up. Oh, missed that jingle.
Saga.
2 warbands for Saga Age of Vikings.
Mm.
Whoever you are, Brigand, welcome to the show. You're not a cock, but you're a cunt, as we all are. So, what armies did he do for Vikings?
He's doing Vikings and then doing some form of Anglo. Don't know if it's an Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Daean, but Anglo of some description. I think I ended up nudging these towards Benjamino for Golden Bat Ding.
We had looked at it 3 weeks ago, and he's done a nice, interesting building.
Yeah, it's interesting for several reasons. One, I just like to see those style of watchtowers built.
Which aren't over-engineered like the one Lloyd did.
Yeah. But also because it's very similar in concept and construct to the one I've done. It's actually based on a Roman watchtower in Germany. But, we'll not say that to anybody. But I do like the fact that he's started with the XPS blue foam and then built that stone structure for it to sit on. Because that's great. That's far more than I could be arsed doing. And even did the interior floor. One beautiful, beautiful thing. So I just like seeing people break out balsa and wood and foam card, and it's not just I'm going to go and download a tower that some prick in Bangladesh has fucking done, and then I'm going to get some cunt in fucking
and he actually
Tahiti
built
to
a
print
wooden
it.
fence.
Yes, yeah, I have barbecue skewers, I think.
Well, big, thick for barbecue
Maybe not.
skewers.
Maybe just whittled out of dowels.
Also with different sizes, XPS foam chipboard, gypsum casting powders, A3 foam core boards. Does he say wooden coffee stirrer sticks?
No, you need to go way the fuck back to his first post, because he does the thing in that. But I don't think he mentions it in it. And at that point, I'm looking at it going, they look like...
Oh, I remember now. That's
bamboo skewers.
The one with a nice little boat he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you're cooking with gas. But regardless, wood. Use wood.
Use
not,
real materials.
Not resin. Not ones and zeros. I see what he means about the plaster. He does say it's gone a bit, it's geezer.
It does look nice.
It does, but it also looks very lumpy.
Well, I thought it would be on purpose.
Nah, because if he was going for wattle and daub, he could have just spread it very thickly over it. But there appears to be lines in there as if he's trying to do brickwork or stonework again. Personally, I would go just stay with the stone for the base and then carve or break that shit off and then do wattle and then coffee, more or less do mine. Stone and then plastered and then just bare wood at the top. Plaster's only there to stop people throwing torches at it. Keep the wind and the rain out. Then you can go wood up top because it's a bit further up from people. So,
It's definitely an interesting take on how to build things. I've never seen someone tackle a building like that before. I think it seems like people always seem to be stuck at one or two materials, but here we have four: foam core, blue foam, some kind of gypsum, wood. Four, maybe five if there's anything additionally used.
but you still got to put a roof on it. Could be teddy bear fur in it for you. Maybe a bit of scrubbing brush.
Yes.
You don't know. You don't know. The horse apples stay wherever the horse drops them off. You don't need to keep the horse apples with you. I'll never make a pie out of horse apples. That's very bad indeed.
Yeah, I'm told they're not very tasty.
No. So yeah.
So again, nicely done. Especially, for example.
Oh, in his mind, he used the fundament of an old Roman watchtower. That makes sense. That'd be why it looks an awful lot like my Roman watchtower. I think we found the same picture on the internet and I've copied it.
You think there's only one or two pictures of the same?
No, but if you Google Roman watchtower or Limes, then this one in Germany comes up all the time because it's been rebuilt based on the archaeological evidence. And it's really, really nice. I'm just going, okay, I'm making that.
Let's see if I can find anything.
Limes. Spelt limes, not pronounced that way.
I'm getting different ones. Complete wood and complete stone.
Oh yeah. Oh, you will.
Oh, I think I found the picture you are referring to.
If you put
A very
Watchtower
solid...
and Germany in together, you'll see them. But anyway.
Yeah, there's some interesting variations of the concept, but that's...
Oh yeah, there's fuckloads of them.
So the next then, orcs.
We've all been waiting to see the cardboard chucked on top.
Yes, and finally some paint on it.
Yep. More than just, well, there was primer on it, I think, last time we came to visit. Everything was red. As red as a red thing that was very red.
I'll see again. We didn't see the choppers. Or the bloody system didn't take my votes again. Fuck. I know
Could be either.
I know we have been in this project up until where he showed them off primed.
Yes, because I think the priming actually got done when we were filming one night, because we hit refresh and they were there. In fact, I think he was in the chat to say he'd done it. So yeah.
And that's the one I think you showed off in the Weekender or the XLBS?
Yes. Well, say showed off. Martin's attacking you with 5 people.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was the one I forced Lloyd to go looking for. I can't remember. Warren was talking at the time. I needed to stop him, and the only way was by making him go and look at people's projects.
Hello,
it's the way to do
Rogers. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I think he... hard to put in words. He's not going the old school paint job route you've seen in Gorka Morka. But still, this screams Gorka Morka with every pigment of color that's on there. I can totally see these creations on a desert-like table with scatter terrain in a Mad Max style setting. Fighting for teeth.
Speaking of Mad Max style setting, it's interesting that he's decided to go for black and white for his basing.
Because?
Normally you stick, well, it doesn't matter what you stick below an orc, especially a brightly coloured orc, it will clash because there's just so much going on with orcs. You know, anything you put under them generally gets subsumed or just looks slightly jarring. So the fact he decided, you know what, You know what's nice? Black sands. Black sands and crystalline glassy structures. Because it's incredibly neutral. Very alien. Unless you're invading Iceland.
I see what you mean.
You know, they just sit there being all sort of neutral.
But it somehow fits the theme.
I want to see a whole board done with that. I wonder if he's done a whole board done with that. I should ask him.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those talented fucks.
Lorna, I think it's because they move sideways.
Who walks sideways? What?
Crab apples.
Crab apples. Oh.
Makes sense when you think about it. I really like those. I really like the fact that they look weirdly orky, and I love the fact that the corrugated cardboard looks great. I just love those. They just look terrific. Those orcs in shades look magnificent. Look how happy they are to be driving about. Finally assembled after all these years.
And I love these choppers.
Which I have a sneaking suspicion were never released. You could only get them by buying the starter set. And it meant people were paying a fucking fortune for them on Fleabay, because GW in their infinite wisdom went, yeah, we're not doing. And it wasn't even one of these weird ones where it was like, you know, half of the sprue was also Space Marines or something. They were on their own individual sprue, and GW just went, fuck orc players. Fuck them. They keep asking for new orcs. Fuck them. They're not getting. Not only are they not getting new orcs, they're not getting these orcs in the starter set. We're not going to sell them any other way. Screw you all.
I'm pretty sure I've got one or two of these buggers in the closet behind me as part of some weird eBay deal I made a few years back.
I remember it really fucked off my mate Tony, who ended up having to trawl eBay for months to get enough to make, because you got like 3 in the starter set and they could be in units of 10.
Oh god.
And so you couldn't even buy like 3 stars. You'd have to go fucking hoking around to get 7. Yeah, no, I just fucked him off so much.
Oh. And then again, people are paying for these outdated buggies a fortune on Fleabay.
Oh yeah, very much so.
It's ridiculous. And I can't understand why, because I can't see many people play orcs anyway. If there were many orc players, GW would sell stuff because money.
I don't know. Is it just a case that there aren't other trucks? They do the battle wagon, and then they do the. They did release some of the Speed Freak vehicles separately. I don't know if they released them all.
Yeah, they did.
But there's no actual just shitty troop transport truck. That is it, isn't it? Or did they do another one? Actually, do I own one?
We're at that point of the show again.
Now I'm starting to think of a very thin box in the roof loft that may or may not be a truck, but a big, robust, ridiculous thing, not little tiny buggy type thing. Time will tell. I've got to go up there at some point and dig stuff out for that German lad. I'll teach him. Won't be so clever then.
I'm dreading that day. Next up then, War Master Britonia. Tony Silvey does tiny people.
He does.
This is so frustrating.
Peasants are revolting.
Some people make 10 mil miniatures look better than I currently am able to do 28 mil, and this is so frustrating.
It's nice to see some peasantry on the go.
Even though it's 3D printed.
By golly, by gosh. Yeah, but you can buy them from people. Look at the gingers there. Oh, my word. Tell they're peasants. It's a shocking amount of gingeration.
And Lloyd shots.
Well, people have got wise these days. You want a golden button, include a Lloyd shop.
At least one.
Just do a project of. Oh, that'd be fucking delightful. Oh,
a project solely dedicated to Lloyd shots.
Just Lloyd, no fronts of any miniatures at all. Oh, if anybody's got a fuckload of miniatures that they can get to easily, to just do that, and then ping me the link, because we're filming the Weekenders on April Fool's Day, and I could get Ben to include one as a golden button. Just have nothing below and see how long it takes before they freak the fuck out. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, I could see him go, what?
Well, if I could get 3 that were just nothing but Lloyd shots, that would be amazing. I'd just do them totally straight faced. Don't tell anybody. But anyway, yeah.
I'm guessing, should the pictures be very big or tiny, weeny, small pictures?
Oh,
what would be worse?
Small would annoy him more. But obviously, huge is what he loves.
Or a mixture then.
If you could go for like sight-breakingly huge, that would be ideal.
Lucky us, Lloyd doesn't watch this stream.
He's got more sense. I don't have enough painted stuff. Oh, I could take a picture of every individual fucking unit from or miniature from the units of Conquest, just to do that. That'd be good.
Oh yeah, Panzer volunteered his barons to do a lot of baron horse Lloyd shots. Lloyd tattooed on his ass. Yeah, great. We need that one too. I foresee a great disturbance in the force.
It's the little things in life that amuse me.
Yeah, but again, people, the first is tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, so you gotta be quick with taking pictures. Oh, but that would be lovely.
Well, you don't have to set them live or anything, just,
Just send Jerry the link.
Just PM me the link.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that episode. So next up is again 10mm.
Yes.
Kings of War.
But this time not Wamster, but Kings.
By Kojo Han.
Yes. What you said.
That looks a bit large for 10mm, but that's probably
only because it's a giant. See? Catch on fast.
I'm a slow learner, but I learn sometimes.
Yeah, crazy, that's a good one.
Full frontal. Full frontal nudity. Just Lloyd shots of naked people.
Let's go with that amazing amount of bare arses. Currently just looking around to see if there's anything I can take pictures of. Oh, there's some Batman stuff up there. Yeah, anyway. Enough of that. I can't remember where we'd got to. I know because I've been paying attention to this and chatting to him as well.
Look at the amount of awesomeness on that small table.
Yeah, I was hoping it was a battle. It wasn't a battle. He just set stuff up to take some pictures, and then his son came along and went, "Ooh!"
Shiny.
and just started having his own, playing his own game, pushing stuff around, as is only right and just.
This is, even though I'm not a rank and file player and I'm not so much into fantasy games, but this is the quintessence of what wargaming feels to me.
Yes.
That's
correct.
If somebody asks me, envision miniature wargaming, this is what springs to mind, even though I'm playing totally different games. And I'm betting most people my age would think the same.
Yeah, because it looks terrific. Every bit looks terrific. And if people haven't been here before, the making your own hills at home using warbler, whatever it is, which is like it's not quite vac forming, it's not quite a Mira vac forming stuff, but you can make your own shapes by virtue of a hairdryer and some scissors. It's used by terrible people who cosplay, apparently, but he uses it to terrific effect to make small scale hills. Have you seen this, Steve? Have you been? I probably don't know if you've seen this one. Literally just got some rocks from the garden, put a sheet of warbler over the top, hit it with a hairdryer till it sort of adhered to it, and then when it cools down you just cut it out and you've got like your own little vac form type hill things. That, I'd never heard of this fucking thing before. I know it's a thermoplastic. I don't know how many times you could reuse it. It's possible you could make cast out of it, but just for doing that, for small scale hills and terrain features, for everything, I would imagine 15 mil downwards, maybe even 20 mil, you know, but certainly 15, 10, 6 mil. That looks like tremendous stuff. So I'm going to have a poke around and see what the cash money is for warbler. It certainly sounds fantastic. Warbler.
It does ring a bell for some reason. Did you see the Kickstarter for that plastic card vacuum suck thing? There has been.
Excuse me. Are we back to the bad dragon and their dildos being trapped on the machine?
You were talking about the how to make rocks without vacuum, and there is actually a Kickstarter currently running for a A4 sized machine doing that for you.
It's not going to be particular. I mean, you can make your own.
Yeah,
if you could really be arsed. The problem is
expensive.
Oh yeah.
And I
barely have room for my airbrush booth, and trying to fit one of those fuckers in this room is never happening.
There's an episode from, I think it was Adam Savage, how to build your own with an old vacuum and some wires framing, which did work.
Oh yeah, I imagine it would. Beautifully.
Why did I get She's Gone From Suck to Blow? But I can't tell you why you've got that stuck in your head.
Because he's a fan of the best of all Star Wars films, Spaceballs.
The damn things. This would be a perfect opportunity for any German in the audience to get a hold of some very good German humor.
Oh,
because there's a comedy that went. There's a salesman selling a combination device that's a vacuum and also a hair dryer. You know, these old-fashioned things you sit on top of your head and run around with. And there's a rhyme going with it, which translates to it sucks and blows where a mummy only can suck and ... So it gets very innuendo. Very poorly translated here, but everybody who's seen Loriot will know what I mean and have a little giggle.
Oh, the Lloyd Gremlin's delightful.
Es saugt und bläst der Heinzelmann, wo Mutti sonst nur blasen kann.
It's easy for you to say.
Of course it is.
Said, look, Warbler is about £9 for an A4 sheet. So, not the cheapest, but I imagine fairly robust.
Friday. Well, that's my Friday sorted then.
Everybody loves Caravan of Courage.
The Fight for Endor. Next object of today's bad pun, Sleepy Hollow. Oh, see, that one doesn't look very healthy, does he?
He's perfectly healthy.
Is he?
Yeah.
He looks a bit on the thin side.
Just needs fattening up, that's all.
Oh, is this a poem? Should I read a poem?
Always.
Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
That sounds hauntingly familiar.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know anything. So these, I think you have shown partially on the Weekender. Did you receive a button?
He'd started. Let's say yes. Sure. He'd started doing the Sleepy Hollow stuff, so he'd done the pumpkin patches and things like that, but he's been
Oh yes, I
plucky
remember now.
since.
And for some weird reason, Warren went off and said, I never made the connection between this and American Civil War, I think he said.
War of Independence.
War, yeah.
Oh, Stumpy McGee. Any relation to Tits McGee?
Yeah, and the way he made his cobblestone walls is something I always wanted to try as well, ever since I heard of that procedure.
Yeah, I couldn't be arsed.
Too much work?
Far too much fucking work.
Doesn't sound like too much work.
Ooh, I don't know. I think it does.
Well, you take some rocks and you put some glue on top. You don't even need to use hot Mod Podge. You could also use simple white glue or wood glue and then stir it up and stuff it in something small.
Stuff it into a mold. Then you have to make sure that it's not going to adhere to your mold.
The vital part here being that there needs to be some parchment paper, yeah. Everything else is optional.
Yeah, I'll just not bother with dry-stone walls. But, that being said, it's a theme with Henry's stuff, where the scratch building is absolutely delightful. I mean, I still love the scratch built
Graveyard?
No, train he did with the gun for Operation Sea Lion last year, 2 years ago. Was beautiful. This one, from the moment where he's breaking out one of those tiling combs for the grout to make the furrows in his cornfields up to the dry stone walls, is just really nice.
James, I think the obsession with Mod Podge is simply because it's giving most surfaces a harder coat, so it's protecting foam buildings a little bit better than you would achieve by simply mixing PVA into your colors. But that's about it. I think Mel, the terrain tutor, did a very extensive video on the different wood glues and white glues at some point, 2019, I think, where he explained where the actual differences in these glues are and why they have each their own individual appliances.
It's also very matte. I know PVA is relatively matte, but
can dry very shiny.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things, though. It's just, in some cases, it's as cheap to buy Mod Podge from a craft store as it is to buy PVA. So, I mean, the decent high-grade PVA, not the watery shit that you can buy by the gallon.
I think the Mod Podge also takes on acrylic colors a bit better in the painting stages after.
That's because it's delightfully matte. Matty matte matte.
So then on to the next one.
Yeah.
Barley.
I'm the same, James. That's like an Evo thick builder's PVA, which is also open and therefore drying out, and that's bad. Can't remember the last time I had that out. Ooh.
Barley does. Dragon. I think we have been here before.
We're here right at the very start, where there's a lot of stuff going. I'm not sure how I'm going to paint these, and there was some really nice painted stuff. It turned out that was just stuff he'd found on the internet for inspiration. So he started to actually break out his own bits and pieces and get them built up, primed up, and painted up.
Oh, and some scenery. This looks like it's from what's it called?
Infinity.
Infinity, yes.
I think it is from Infinity. I almost recognise the wooden stuff as well, but not quite.
Foreground?
No, it's not painted. There's somebody. I was looking at them. I think they're
Death Ray Design Games.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Gangs of the Undercity.
Bring out your dead. I'm
Could
feeling
be.
better. I think I'm going for a walk.
You're not fooling anyone. But yeah,
They
breaking
don't
out
look
the
too
Reapers.
well, do they?
No, well, you know, they don't look terrible, but they are doing what Reaper's bones are supposed to do, just be cheap and cheerful for monsters that are going to get randomly generated onto a table.
Sudden explosion of infestations on the gaming table.
Yeah.
So I do
Plus-
like the big guy in the middle.
Which big guy? The stitched
This
horror?
one, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He looks like a happy fellow.
Yeah, patchworks are lovely. I keep looking at them going, I should buy them for something. But I don't know what I would use them in Kings of War as. I'm sure there's something. I do like the very oriental theme he's going for his Frostgrave. It's different. Because the rules are solid enough, you can quite happily just take the setting and the scenarios out to fuck.
And I think you could also take these Asian-looking miniatures to Stargrave.
These ones, yes, maybe. Although they've got very melee-centric weaponry, and there's not many melee weapons in Stargrave on the grounds. You'll get shot in the face in an Indiana Jones style. So you
Which
could
is the
do it, but
best.
it's not easy. Not easy. But I love the look of him. I like the fact that he's decided to run with something very different as well. Just going, you know what? The Frostgrave system is very generic. You can use whatever you want, and therefore I'm going to have an Oriental themed Frostgrave. And I love the color palette he's going for. It's got that, well, I'd say evil. If it was a neon green with that purple, definitely super evil. Although it's, you know, not quite that bad. But the very strong blue and purple running throughout them just is really nice. It has that sort of evil assassin type of thing going on.
Yeah, and I think they have some kind of cartoonish vibe to it, a bit. For my taste, at least.
It may just be because he's gone for such bright poppy colours.
Yeah.
If you just got in there and started throwing dirt on everybody, it probably wouldn't look as cartoony. But I think they work well for that, because it has that, especially for something like Frostgrave, you don't want to be too poo-faced and down to earth about it. You know,
Yeah, Ralph.
push models around the table. And explode.
Ralph puts the finger on it. I thought Last Airbender on the female character on the right too. Looks like
Right.
Aang. A bit.
That's a thing, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to trust me on this one.
I will trust you on that.
That's very good of you to trust me.
I
just
thought so.
have the best interest in mind.
Good. Is it like The Last Unicorn? The Last Airbender?
No, it's an anime TV series.
Right. So another cartoon. So it is.
Same,
Cartoons.
but different.
Still the same.
Same, but different. Or to put it bluntly, same shit, different day.
The ones that weren't coloured in were Death Ray designs. And the coloured in ones were probably the Bandua Infinity coloured set.
Yeah, very much possible. Dave Filoni was involved with The Last Airbender. I don't know if that makes the series any better. I've watched it once or twice. It's a nice distraction. It's a bit better cinematic value than that weird long schlong Wookiee movie Jerry once forced me to watch.
Are you talking about Suburban Sasquatch?
Yes, I think I am.
Suburban Sasquatch was fucking amazing. You didn't even have to watch Suburban Sasquatch. All you had to do was watch some guys talking about watching Suburban Sasquatch.
Yes, I did, and I'm never getting that time or brain cells back.
What? It's an outrage, Tony Harrison would say. Suburban Sasquatch is amazing.
It's a thing to behold, that's for sure. And it's a thing you'll remember for the rest of your life. You're never getting rid of that. It's like...
Certainly not the penis.
No. It's like the...
hung to his knees, dead. It was like an elephant's trunk.
No, he didn't send me a home video. Crazy. But it's...
Although, again, hung to his knees. Like an elephant's trunk.
Yeah. And next up is E.T.'s glowing finger again. For all the old ones in the audience.
Delightful.
Yes, this is a rather short one tonight.
Tightly scripted.
Yes.
Half hour.
And my brain juices are running on fumes. I'm guessing I'm not getting any sleep tonight because I'm somehow eager to do something before I go to bed and possibly get awoken early by calls from the office. So
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'll start painting something again. There's still...
Let's see. It's insidious. Gets into your head.
Yeah, it's like a truck. Thanks everybody for being here. Jerry,
Thank you
for lending your knowledge and your soothing voice to this.
That's me, Mario.
That's me, Mario. Your princess is in another castle. No, it's not. Have a good one, everybody. Without further ado, go on with your lives. Do something productive. Paint miniatures or something. Or maybe buy your wife some flowers. Shit like that. Have a good one. See you next week. Bye.